Congratulations on the new collection.
Thank you. It's so good to see you in person.
You too.
Yes.
Can you talk me through, seeing these pieces in person in the showroom here in High Point? How does it feel to be here, and how does it feel to see everything together?
It's super exciting because, as you know, when we launched Love, Joy, Bliss, I was giving birth to my 2-year-old Miles, and then last year because of COVID we all couldn't be here, and now we're here, and it's so wonderful to actually be here to launch Tranquility. It is such a beautiful collection that I feel is very of the moment and what people will really feel inspired by, especially because of the soft curves and the way that actually I feel the sofas and the chairs, they really embrace you.
Yeah.
And who doesn't need a little hug after the last 2 years?
Absolutely.
And the lines are just very soft and inviting, and to me it feels very tranquil, peaceful, nurturing with the rose quartz details.
I'll say it's moody, it's organic, it's this really kind of enveloping environment. What was your inspiration bringing these shapes and bringing these patterns and textures into the market?
Yeah, it was interesting because at the time when we were working over Zoom to create the next collection, I was in Paris and feeling very inspired by Paris and the beautiful, not only the beautiful architecture, but the contrast between the traditional architecture and the modern furniture that's in homes in Paris.
Absolutely.
And how it does stand the test of time, and it's being very timeless with that kind of the modern soft edges and the waterfall shapes. And actually the burlwood inspiration came from Paris as well. We have in our home in Paris the more traditional burlwood, that's the deeper, darker tone. And when I had suggested to Universal that we incorporate a burlwood type feel, they came back with this incredibly beautiful, light,
ethereal, right?
Ethereal,
it's
soft, warm burlwood that I immediately fell in love with. And there's actually 3 different types of burlwood within the collection. There's this one that you see here behind me. You see the grey, more of a grey detail, and then the lighter, more neutral, like white burlwood.
I wanted to ask you about some of the other materials. We have this milky mushroom finish in front of us.
Yes, the milky mushroom plaster finish and the mushroom shape with these tables in particular, and also the dining table feels like it could kind of it could be a dining table, but it could also be like an entry table if you have flowers and like you could put your keys on and whatnot.
You mentioned the rose quartz, and so I had to ask you about that. I know that was such an important piece for you to bring into this collection.
I love rose quartz, and I have been a fan of crystals since I was a little girl. My grandfather was a house mover, and he would move houses like literally from one town to another town, like across the country in Australia. That was something they did back then. And when families would want to move but they wouldn't want to leave their home, they would literally pick up and move the house. And
there's something so beautiful about feeling connected enough to your house
that
to
you
move it
to another town.
And it's so neat that that's a piece of what you've brought to this collection in terms of creating a sense of home.
Well, yeah, that, and also the fact that when he was doing that, he would find these big geode crystals in the ground, bring them back to my grandma. She wasn't that impressed with them, so she kind of gave them to us as children. And the rose quartz is a crystal I was immediately drawn to, and it's been a tool that I've used in my life to really help keep the heart open, feel very nurtured. It brings that loving energy into your life, and so I wanted to bring that loving energy into the collection. And so we have some beautiful pieces like side table, the desk as well, that can be used as a traditional desk, and it can also be used as a makeup space. It has the beautiful rose quartz detail there, and it's just bringing that loving energy into the home, and that's what I like to do with everything that I design. So it's just that 360 approach that I like to include. And obviously the use of positive words, like this being the Tranquility collection, and the intention behind everything is to bring that tranquility into the home and create that peaceful, blissful state for people.
In addition to that sense of tranquility, you've designed pieces that are really made to live in, right? They're not just for looking at.
Yes. Well, being a mother of 3 boys, 2, 3, and 10-year-old boys, they're
Livability
very
is important.
active, and I don't like to have any spaces that are off limits for my boys. I like them to feel like they can roam freely, and obviously they're not going to be having their dinner on the sofa. We'll be sitting at the table, but at the same time, accidents happen, spills happen, and I've seen it firsthand. And I'm so excited that working with Krypton, their fabric is not only like, basically I've seen spills happen, I get the towel and I wipe it up, it immediately soaks it up, but I also love the fact that it's made from 50 to 70% recycled cotton, and it has the Green Guard certification. I feel really lucky that we were able to work together with Krypton to create a very durable and more sustainable fabric for everyone.
Well, we're here in person.
Yes.
But so much of this collection was designed virtually, was designed on Zoom.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the design process and how you were able to collaborate with the Universal team?
Well, the Universal team, we know each other so well now, and we were fortunate enough to get to know each other really well before COVID. So we had a lot of in-person meetings for the Love, Joy, Bliss collection. And I built trust with them and vice versa, and we really appreciate each other and the different points of view that we bring to the table, and that's what it's about. It's about that collaboration. We did a lot of Zoom meetings and different fabric swatches were sent. I am a very intuitive person. I know as soon as I touch it or feel it, this is going to work, this is not going to work. I'm very instinctual like that, and they really appreciate that because things can move.
You were super hands-on with this collection, I know that.
And the previous collection, whatever I do, I give my whole heart. I'm very detail-orientated, so I'm very specific with mixing the different textures and the subtleties.
I know the patterns of the wood grain, right?
There's like obviously the patterns of the wood grain, but also like you'll see like the plaster finish, but then you'll see the lacquer finish. So it's like a very subtle detail that they contrast each other in a very subtle way that you'll see if you look deeper at each little piece.
What were some of the juxtapositions like that you were most excited about here?
Well, there's a beautiful console with the marble. It's like a mushroom console. It has the marble on the top and the mushroom-like legs. I really think that's a beautiful piece for people's homes. It feels timeless and elevated and chic.
As this collection goes out into the world, how do you want it to make people feel? What do you want that message to be with these pieces?
I just want people to feel like they can have these pieces in their home and they will bring about that cozy, peaceful, loving energy into their home, and they also feel like it is inspiring them in some way. And that's what I love about Universal. We get to create these incredible pieces that feel very luxurious and high-end, but they're actually quite affordable. And so that was one of the things that was important to me when working with Universal, is that we could create incredibly high-end quality, but it was affordable. And obviously furniture is always an investment for people, but I want these pieces to stand the test of time, to be able to pass them down to your children if you want.
Going to be in people's homes.
And in people's homes.
Changing people's lives.
Hopefully uplifting them and making them feel inspired and content and tranquil.